Welcome to the Eat This Book podcast. I'm Michael Whitworth. Each day we take a small piece of scripture and we sit with it. Not a quick snack that disappears before lunch, not a chore you check off of a list, but rather a meal meant to be savored. So pull up a chair. Let's eat. In our second episode, we will be looking at Genesis chapter 1, verses 6 through 8. And God said, "Let there be an expanse in the midst of the waters, and let it separate the waters from the waters." And God made the expanse and separated the waters that were under the expanse from the waters that were above the expanse. And it was so. And God called the expanse heaven. And there was evening and there was morning the second day. If you've been reading Genesis 1 carefully, you may have noticed something strange about day 2. Something's missing. On day 1, God made light, and God saw that the light was good. On day 3, God gathers the seas and makes dry land appear, and God saw that it was good. And then he does it again with vegetation when it springs up. Day 4, the sun, moon, and stars, good. Day 5, the fish and birds, good. Day 6, the animals, and then humanity, good. And then very good. But day 2, God makes the expanse. He separates the waters above from the waters below. He calls the expanse heaven. And then evening and morning, second day, no good. It's the only day in the creation week that doesn't get that word. And I don't think that's an accident. So what's happening here? Why does day 2 go without? Some scholars think it's because the work isn't finished yet. On day 2, God separates the waters, but the waters below are still just water, everywhere. There's no land yet. The separation has happened, but the purpose of that separation isn't clear until day 3, when dry ground appears and suddenly you realize, oh, that's what the expanse was for. Day 2 is a middle day, a setup day, a day where something real happens, but it doesn't feel complete yet. And if you've ever lived a day like that, or a week, or a month, or a year, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There are seasons in life that don't feel good. Not bad necessarily, not catastrophic, just unfinished. You're in between things. The old season has ended, but the new one hasn't started. You've made a decision, but you can't see the fruit of it yet. You're waiting. You're suspended. Tohu bohu is chaos. We talked about it the last time. But day 2 isn't chaos. Day 2 is structure without payoff, progress without closure. You've done the work, but you can't point to anything and say, there, that's good. Some of you are living in day 2 right now. Maybe you left a job and you're in the uncertain space before the next one. Maybe you ended a relationship and you're not grieving anymore, but you're not healed either. You're just somewhere in the middle. Maybe you've been praying for something for a long time and God hasn't said no, but he hasn't said yes, and the silence stretches out like water in every direction. Day 2. Here's what I want you to notice. God is still working on day 2. He speaks, he makes, he separates, he names. All the verbs of creation are still there. The absence of good doesn't mean the absence of God. Sometimes we measure God's presence by whether things feel good. If we can see the fruit, if we can name the blessing, if there's something to point to, then God is at work. But if the day just ends, if evening comes and there's nothing to show for it, we wonder if we've been abandoned. Day 2 says otherwise. God is just as active on the day without good as he is on the days with it. I think there's something else here too. Day 2 is the day that God makes space. Look what actually happens. God puts an expanse between the waters. He's creating room, separation, space for something that doesn't exist yet. Before there can be sky and sea and land, there has to be space. Before birds can fly and fish can swim and people can walk, there has to be somewhere for them to do it. Day 2 is the day God makes room. And sometimes that's what the in-between seasons are doing in our lives. They're making room. They feel empty because they are empty, not as failure, but as preparation. The emptiness isn't the point. The emptiness is making space for what's coming. You can't fill a room that doesn't exist yet. Day 2 builds the room. There's one more thing I want you to see, and it's easy to miss. Day 2 doesn't get a good, but day 3 gets 2 of them. God gathers the waters and makes dry land appear, and God saw that it was good. Then God makes vegetation spring up, and God saw that it was good. 2 goods in one day. It's almost like day 3 is making up for day 2. Or maybe it's more accurate to say that day 3 completes day 2. The separation of the waters wasn't good on its own, but it becomes good when the dry land appears. The good was coming, it just hadn't arrived yet. If you're in a day 2 season, the good is coming. It may not come today, it may not come when you expect it, but the God who made space is the same God who fills it. The God who separates is the same God who completes. Day 2 isn't the end of the story. So what do you do when you're living in day 2? You trust the rhythm. Evening and morning, the day still counts even without the good. God is still working, still speaking, still making room for something you can't see yet. You stop demanding that every day feel complete. Some days are setup days. Some seasons are preparation. That doesn't make them wasted, it makes them necessary. And you wait for day 3. Not passively. God is active on day 2, and so should you. But with patience, with trust, with the quiet confidence that the good is coming, even if today isn't the day you get to hear it. Evening and morning, the second day. No good yet, but God is still at work, and so is His story. Before you go, a quick look ahead. In the next episode of Eat This Book, we'll step into day 3 of creation. The day dry land appears, solid ground finally breaks through the waters, and God says good not once but twice. If you've ever felt like you're treading water, stuck in an in-between season, or desperate for something firm beneath your feet, this one's for you. We'll talk about hidden ground, bounded chaos, and why faithfulness always follows foundation. So join me for episode 3, entitled Solid Ground. Thanks for eating with me. Until next time, may the Word dwell in you richly.